Okay, I just wanted to give you a video number 2 on the valve installation on the Ford 2N. I just wanted to show you a couple of things. My other video, when I was putting it in, it kind of ended abruptly. Apologize for that, but I wanted to show this retaining clip a little bit better. I don't know if you can see that, but this is the slot right here that will go into, just like that. When you're on the underside of, you can see the tip of it right there, but when you push that valve down, that will expose that, I'm sorry, not the valve, the actual valve, but the valve guide sticking there. Let me shine some light. There it is. You can see just the tip of it. When you push that down with the screwdriver, you're going to expose that gap, or that slot that I was just telling you about, and that's what allows you to put those retaining clips in there. You can see them pretty good right there right now. But I just wanted to go over something. The guy that I have do all my machine work, he's really particular, which is good. He's been noticing problems with the replacement parts of today that are made in Taiwan and stuff. And one thing that had to be done is this hole in the valve guide. I don't remember the exact numbers offhand, but there is a clearance in which that valve can ride up and down in there. The way they come, it is way too tight, especially for the exhaust valves, and this is an exhaust valve. You got to remember, when an engine gets hot, the metal will expand, and what happens is, if this isn't right, when that goes down in there, you could swell, and two things could happen. One, either it will keep going, it will keep sliding up and down properly, but you're going to get a tremendous amount of wear right off the bat, or it could get tight enough to where it just sticks open or sticks closed, and you ain't gonna know what in the world's going on. So you might want to check with a good machinist and have them check everything out. He actually had to hone those out a little bit just to get the right clearance, and he was nice enough. He actually, I doubt you can read, he engraved all the numbers, like this is number 3 exhaust valve, for example, and he actually engraved the valve guide. He did each individual one to get it perfect. Another thing that he was noticing, he actually has a old Ford tool made for the valve seat grinding. I don't have anything that looks like it, but basically what it would go down into that hole down there like so, and it'd have a stem that sticks up that would look something similar to your valve, and that's what he would ride the grinding stone off of to get the your valve seat done. And he's noticed through the years that he is no longer able to use that tool to go by, because we go back over here, believe it or not, that hole looks like it is in the center, but to a machinist eye, or when you measure it, it is actually not. Now I'm not talking a lot, it might be 3/1000ths off to the left or out around, whatever, but he's no longer able to use that. So what he has to do is he has to just basically put that in there, hold it up with some random valve spring, and go off of that valve guide to get that exactly above and centered in the valve seat. Again, you know, you've heard me complain a few times in the videos. That's what you're dealing with now when everything's made in Taiwan, and you know, I mean, this is just basic engine rebuilding, but it just seems like it's getting worse. You really gotta watch. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the new pistons, when they were in the sleeves, when the sleeves were out, the bore was checked. It was perfect. It was completely true. It wasn't bigger at the top or smaller at the bottom. But when the sleeves were in, okay, the piston, if you would just hold it there and drop it down, it would not fall down to the bottom. That's how much the sleeve was out around. So he actually had to hone the cylinders and get them true again to where you get the right clearance. And he was talking to another guy that just did a Ford 9N, and he told him, he warned him, there is a clearance for how big that can get. He says you want to go to the high side because these newer pistons will actually swell and get hot, and the tractor will run fine, it will run great, it will run, but when you go to shut it off and maybe you go in for a drink of water or something, you come back out and the starter won't even turn the engine over because it just got too tight. It swelled up and it swelled shut. If you let the engine cool completely, it would fire right back up again. So I know a lot of people just replace parts, and you know, I know people personally who would just get a new valve and drop it down in there and not even worry about that. But you know what, you're going to save a lot of grief and money in the long run if you just pay a little bit more right out of the bat and do it right the first time. This tractor's been in the family since almost it was new, and it has very little, this is the first time the engine was ever torn down, anything like this. And you know, it lasted what, 60 some years. There's no reason why with proper care and maintenance that it couldn't last another 60 years, which is basically almost a lifetime. So again, just watch those clearances. You might want to get together with someone who really understands machine work and you know, go from there. I was just reading on the internet that one day there was a Farmall Super M. They said they totally rebuilt the engine and now it's locked up. It won't go. I'm not saying that, you know, what's wrong with it, I don't know, but there is a very good possibility that they just swapped parts and didn't do their measuring, especially with the cam and the bearings are so off whack these days. You know, you could run the tractor and spin a bearing and bam, that's it, you're done. All that work you did was just for nothing. So just be careful, guys, and hopefully in the next video I'll be able to show you how to adjust these valves.